Hello wonderful people, Connor Whitmore here again with another video for you on the Nawtystep channel. Hope you're all doing well, very well indeed. And today we're going to be covering this new Wales EP that has just dropped on Disciple Roundtable, and it is called Fucking. Just Fucking. Now you might be sat there thinking, Connor, why are you going out of your way to cover this collection, this EP? It's just going to be another standard 6-tracker on Disciple Roundtable, metallic, rhythm leaning, all that. And actually, in reality, this project, even before, properly getting into it, the music and all of that, has caused quite the commotion on social media, in particular Twitter, over the last few days, because yes, whilst Fucking may be a 6-tracker, a 6-track EP, it only totals to 9 minutes in length. Yeah, you heard that right. Now, the commotion and conversation started through people saying and bringing up exactly that. How can an EP be 6 tracks and 9 minutes long in total? And also, how can an EP of that length be on a label of that stature? And then, Wales coming out and saying, look, we're in an industry where people are constantly crying out for something different. This is me doing something different. It initially started as a mixtape, and it's got a bit of linearity. There's a musical journey between this 6 tracks we get here, this 9 minutes total. And that was met with a wave of people saying, yeah, exactly. I mean, why can't tracks be under 2 minutes long? If you can give an idea, if you can present a motive within a tune, provide feeling, it's music. At the end of the day, there's no rules for how long it has to be. I mean, the point of social media in a big way and how they're so effective at keeping us on those apps is by creating division. So it's like if you have an opinion and someone has some opinion that is even a little bit different to yours, and they're instantly the enemy, if you know what I mean. So basically, that's what we have here with this conversation. We have two ends of a certain debate whereby there's no middle point where they can both kind of coexist in a way, because in my opinion, both are right. I mean, I haven't heard the music yet, but you are going to get a load of people, well, a load of up-and-comers anyway, saying, oh, really, is that really all it takes to kind of get an EP on this kind of label, just making a 9-minute EP with 6 tracks, if you will? I personally think it is quite difficult to find a track under, 1 minute 45 or 1.5 minutes that is fully developed, that is selling something particular and genuine to you. So I do hear that side of it before getting into the music, but then at the same time, just because it may not deliver something genuine or have a particular idea or kind of motive to it, that doesn't mean that it doesn't qualify as music. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to do that specific thing. It's just music. It's sounds being put together. So of course it can be under 2 minutes long. I think we can see both sides without having to constantly attack each other and take sides completely and see it as a kind of black and white thing. It is basically what I'm trying to say before getting into the music here. The EP again is called Fucking. Just plain fucking. It is 6 tracks and it is 9 minutes and 7 seconds long in total, and we are kicking off with the opener, which is called Real Lies, which comes in at 1 minute 26. Okay, capiche? Let's go. That's track 1. But I'm just gonna keep it going just to see what the transition into the next track is like. Okay, I mean, not really even that much of a transition there. Like, I expected it to sound just like a mix, if I'm being honest. Well, at least more like that, really smoothly kind of going into it as if there wasn't really much of a break. But there was kind of a bit of a cut-off point there. Beyond that, yeah, I mean, I have to admit, this is where I see the side of, what, a 6-track EP at 9 minutes, how can that be a thing? Because that to me just feels unfinished, if I'm being honest. I mean, the introduction, fine, a very classic vocal sample that's been used again and again by many a dubstep musician in the last few years or so. The drop is, a couple colourful touches there, but mostly just not really doing very much conceptually, just quite standard and straightforward. Transition, kind of not transition moment into this second track here, and then it's kind of over. Could have even had a bit more character in that outro just to really lead into what we're about to listen to here. But yeah, nothing really happens. It's just a still 20 or 25 seconds or so where it's just like, okay, just kind of waiting for the next track to come in. Interesting so far. I mean, if this is kind of setting the tone for what we're going to get going forward with the final 7.5 minutes or so, then I can imagine it's going to feel just a little bit unfulfilling, a bit unsatisfactory, shall we say. But moving on, let's go for track number 2, So Ready, which comes in at 1 minute 42. Okay, bit more attitude here. Yeah, nice jumpiness to this. I mean, okay, that one actually had a good transition there. That one actually, flowed and swam in, if you will, to the next track quite well. In that heaviness, to be fair, he creates variety. There are 2 different kinds of drop there, different kinds of flow, different kinds of energy and tones and whatnot. I think it all to me just has a little bit of an undeveloped feel to it, not only with the length and the kind of feeling throughout that whole heaviness, even with it being varied and having good sounds and flows here and there, that we're just kind of waiting for that kind of still outro moment again to just come in, and it's just kind of waiting for that moment. Parts where the sound is, quite fleshed out and rounded off, but others where it's just quite empty feeling and it doesn't feel completely polished off with the amount going on, the mixing, etc. Some of the snare choices in there were quite odd. I think in the first bit of that heaviness there, that doof was just like very overwhelming, just completely drowned out all the other sounds that were there. It just has this air of kind of inevitability that we're, getting over and done with when it comes to that heaviness quite quickly. I mean, it feels weird and it feels uncomfortable because it's different, right? I mean, that's the point of it. With time, more people going down this route and just having the drop kind of constitute as a waiting moment for a brief outro to come in, maybe that could be a thing that happens more and more going forward. It's getting my brain whirring, as you can all very much see here. But moving on, we're going to go into the third track, 2 minutes 4 seconds long, Untouchable. It just has a really distinctly empty feel to it. Really, like the character, the personality, just I can't feel it. I can't feel it. Yeah, the kind of unfinished feel of it structurally just bleeds into the unfinished feel of it drops wise and heaviness wise. It just feels completely unfleshed out in moments like that. Another decent transition moment there, to be fair. It just feels a bit soulless to me. Like, not only again with the structure of it always feeling like we're waiting for that end moment and never, this is the main point, I think, never having enough room to explore the musical side of it, more development with the heaviness and where that can go, because there's only kind of so much time with each track, if you want to call them that. It doesn't feel like basically there's a lot of room for true and proper expression. I mean, I like the thing. I do like the thing of having a mix kind of act as an EP. It's a cool idea. Having shorter tracks, this is bringing something new. I am for that. I'm for doing different things, but the music here, in its shortness, in its structural shortness, just feels like it's, like I said, bleeding and kind of seeping, that's the word, into the creative aspect and leaning of it. I mean, these drops are fine. They're okay. I mean, Wales has written fantastic drops in the past, but these just feel very starved of emotion, of character, feeling, personality. They just kind of feel there, more like they're kind of serving a purpose as opposed to like adding feeling, adding character, personality, and colour, all that kind of thing. So it feels a little bit like Wales is maybe, even with this cool idea with shorter tunes, just stifling himself a bit, just a bit of a straight jacketing situation, if you will. But anyway, moving on, we have the title track, which comes in at 1 minute 20. Okay. See, the execution on the sounds that we are getting here sounds pretty good. Like, it's pretty crispy, but there's still like a distinct emptiness to it, which just has no room, no chance to develop, to layer, to evolve, mutate, or anything. Because look, we're already at the end of it. We're already at the end of the fucking tune. The fucking tune. It's literally the fucking tune. Moving on from there, we have track number 5, 1 minute 1 second long, which is called Hurt. Penultimate track here, maybe acting as a bit of an interlude, I don't know. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, actually, yeah. This is the best drop. This is definitely the best drop so far. Okay, no transition on that one, which is interesting. I think one of the thoughts I'm having at the moment is that I think this does work as a mix. You know, you hear the voltage mixes from Space Lasers and you're just like, okay, yeah, one drop after another. I can do that. I'm feeling that. That sounds good. You know, let's just have it. Let's just have a big smorgasbord of different kinds of drop and show us what you can really do. That's cool. As a mix, I appreciate that. That's what it's sold as. But to call something like this, I mean, if you called those voltage mixes EPs, you'd just be like, oh, so we've got 40 tracks that are 20 seconds long. Is that what you're trying to tell me? And it's a similar kind of thing here. Like, I just don't really, I mean, obviously you can call it an EP, but it presents itself so much as a mix that calling it an EP, it's just like, where do we draw the lines here? Like, where are we going to draw the lines within this scene, within dubstep going forward? What is going to constitute as a mix if this is being called an EP? Is our understanding and kind of comprehension of that concept, of the concept of an EP, just essentially completely shattered with this project, with this collection. As you can see, it's making for very interesting conversation, and I'm very excited to see what you guys have to say in the comments section down below. But without any further ado, let's have the final track, shall we? How about that? 1 minute 32, Drowning. It's a little bit different with a track like that because there isn't like a focal moment, there's no drop. It's not posing itself as a, you know, like the kind of pop equivalent might be, you know, verse, chorus, bridge, outro, when in dubstep it might be introduction, drop, midsection, drop, outro. That could be an outro on any EP or any album. A 1.5 minute just, you know, little piece, little sequence to round off a particular project. A bit of an outlier, that one. A bit of an outlier at the end there, I must say. But overall with this EP, or EP as some people might want me to term it, yeah, I just can't really escape the fact that, you know, whilst it is a cool idea, in having that cool idea for an EP, it is actually being a mix. So can we call it an EP when a mix is what it actually is? I mean, the idea, Wales said it himself, was for it to be a mixtape and act as a mix. So this could inspire and drive quite a lot of conversation, quite a lot of difference about, you know, the grey area within what, you know, what we might call a mix or an EP going forward. If it isn't posing as a mix in the same way that this EP is, and it doesn't have any kind of transition transitions from one track into another, and it's just cut off 1.5 minute or 1 minute tracks, if you will. Would that be an EP, or would that still be called a mix? It's just that there's a lot going on here that you got to kind of grapple with. I mean, when it comes to the music itself, not gonna lie, it has quite an undeveloped feel to it, quite an unfinished feel to it, which is in a way what a mix is, you know. It's just, I mean, you could tell a story, you can have a tale woven through a mix, of course you can, but I mean, essentially it is just drop after drop after drop, and that is what we get here, because there isn't really room for the heaviness here, the introductions just expressing themselves and layering on what we get at the beginning of each one that much. It just feels a little bit like, okay, here's a drop, over and done with, here's another one, just kind of the drops setting up for the outros to come, which are setting up for the intros to come, which are a bit empty in themselves, and setting up for the drops following that to come. It all just has a little bit of a thrown together feel about it. I mean, yeah, absolutely a cool concept as a mini mix, but if we're calling this an EP when it so clearly poses as a mix in the feel of it, the structure of it, the way the ideas are put together, I mean, yeah, there are a couple of good drop moments here, but not really that much to write home about. I mean, the one with the best drop was the shortest track in my opinion. The penultimate cut hurts, so it makes you think a lot about what actually makes a song, what constitutes as a track. I mean, again, I'm going to say it, the thing we have here with this one is that it actually runs like a mix. It's got the transitioning and the blending in from one track to another, but if you had a 5-track EP that came to 6 minutes, for example, and there was no kind of feeling of it being, feeling like a mixtape or being sold as a mix or anything similar, would we call that an EP? I mean, we would probably have to, wouldn't we? Because there are no rules really with how long a track should be to constitute as exactly that. It's an interesting collection here. I mean, beyond the music, it has started quite the conversation, and it's important for the health of this music. I'll definitely say that. But I will, after that, leave it there. Hope you enjoyed the video. Do let me know down below all your thoughts on this EP, mix, whatever you want to call it. If you even have a favourite track, do drop it below, or if you even want to call it a track, do you want to call it a clip, a snippet, anything, do drop all your thoughts below. Like I said, please do like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell along the way. Social media accounts are linked in the description, as well as my Patreon, where you can get a load more bass music coverage, EDM coverage, electronic coverage, etc. And yeah, keep it naughty. I shall see you in the next one. What a project, what a collection of music. Very interesting. See you guys then. Peace.